What's up, gamers? It's your boy Launchpad 1412. Excited to bring you some more Madden 13 gameplay. Going up against my favorite team, the 49ers. Online ranked match here out of the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers was suggested by a subscriber. Knocking down that pin, honoring that request one more time. Excited to be back. Excited to be here one more again. I love doing this, man. I love the subscribers. I love the feedback. I love the y'all hitting the like button. I just love everything. Thank you guys for all the support. Without y'all, there's no me in this YouTube commentary thing. But I got a topic I want to talk to you guys about, and please feel free to chime in the comment section and tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys feel about this topic. I'm not going to talk about the gameplay in this video unless I have time. If I get time, because this is kind of a long video, not really a long video, but kind of a long video. And bear with the gameplay just a little bit. It's a little sloppy at first. As you can see, it's raining, and it was a little hard for me to see this game for some strange reason. But at any rate, is Donovan McNabb a Hall of Famer? The big question, not the big question, but this is an interesting question because I'm from Delaware. So being I'm from Delaware, the Philadelphia Eagles are the main team for this state, and a lot of Eagles fans around my way. A plethora of Eagles fans. Eagles fans galore. Eagles fans are some of the greatest fans on the planet because of how passionate they are about their team. Not just the Eagles, Phillies, and also the 76ers, Flyers, and everything else. Now, with that said, in Delaware we have a radio station. It's 94.1. It's a radio station. It's actually an FM station where they talk about sports. It's a sports radio station, and I listen to it just about every time I get in the car. Very interesting station. I love the station. I love to hear the guys talking. One of the guys that talks on the station, I believe doing today, is Ike Reese. He's a former linebacker for the Eagles. So yeah, he's a very interesting person to have on the station. I don't know if you guys know who Ike Reese is. He was a pretty solid linebacker. I know one that was great, so to speak, but he was pretty solid. All right, with that said, he said a statement that I think is very true. He said, if you have to think about whether a player is a Hall of Famer or not, the chances are they're probably not a Hall of Famer. But in my opinion, if you want my honest opinion, I feel like I'm gonna say this. I feel like he's a Hall of Famer. I'm just come out and say it. I feel like he's a Hall of Famer. And first ballot, no, not first ballot. If you disagree, feel free to disagree. That's fine. I understand if you disagree. And I did have to think about it, so I'm kind of contradicting myself against Ike Reese, so to speak, if that makes sense. I think he's a Hall of Famer. I think if you look at, I know he doesn't have any rings, and I know he failed to conquer the quest 5 times. Well, I guess 13 times if you consider all the years he's played in the league. But if you look at what he had to use to try, the tools that he had to use, James Thrash, Todd Pinkston, Fred Mitchell, he really didn't have a lot to work with. He had Deuce Staley at one point. That was the number 1 running back. You had Westbrook, who was great. Brian Westbrook, who was awesome when he played. But that's the thing, when he played, he didn't play. He played a period of time, but he was always injured. He wasn't necessarily as pivotal as the Eagles would have liked him to been. Even if I had liked him to been, I was a Brian Westbrook fan. I was always that guy that drafted Brian Westbrook in the fantasy football and took a chance on him, and was disappointed some of the time. But he did give me some good games, though. He gave me some excellent games. I think he gave me one really solid year too. But at any rate, Donovan McNabb, 13 years in the league, NFL quarterback, the hardest position to play in the NFL because of all the attention and spotlight that he gets. Over 37,000 yards for his career passing. Over 3,000 yards, close to 3,500 yards rushing. 29 rushing touchdowns. 234 passing touchdowns. I think he had a solid career, being as though you look at what he had to work with. Like I said before, he never had really with this, and even with people be like, oh, he did have something to work with T.O. there. He had a very good year. That was his best year he had. with T.O., look what he did. T.O. had 15 touchdowns that year. Donovan McNabb's stats is off the chart. Now, Donovan McNabb did have his downfall. He didn't throw the ball the best all the time. Threw a lot of balls to the ground. Sometimes it seemed like he had trouble throwing not a basic, but a 10-yard out route, which was bothersome at times. But he had a cannon, though. And he not always, but most of the time he made sound decisions. And he was put in tough spots. A lot of people don't understand. He was put in tough spots. A lot of people didn't even know he was sick during the Super Bowl. A lot of people didn't know that. He got sick towards the end of the Super Bowl. And he even threw up, I believe. So he was definitely sick, but towards the Super Bowl, he had some problems. That's probably why he wasn't able to complete that game-winning drive. Had that not been the case, who knows? The Eagles might have won. Of course, I'm not an Eagles fan, but I have no choice but to view the Eagles to some perspective because I live in Delaware. But I am a Donovan McNabb fan. Am I like a Donovan McNabb fan like I am a Kevin Durant fan or a Gary Payton fan or Jerry Rice fan or Joe Montana fan? No, not on that level. But I have a high deal of respect for the man, especially being what he had to deal with. Not as far as what he had to deal with, as far as personally, but what he had to work with. Like I remember the one game where he had hurt his leg and his team carried those against the Cardinals. The Cardinals wasn't the best team that year, but they still are a professional team, and he won the NFL game. Now, this is an NFL professional game. Won the game practically on one leg. A lot of people would have quit. He did a Brian Leftwich, but only thing, Brian Leftwich was in college and he was in the NFL. I just think if you just look at everything as a whole, not first ballot, but definitely a Hall of Famer eventually. That's my plan. I think if we look, but I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at his career based on what he's done and what he had to work with. Like even with T.O. there, he didn't even have T.O. through the playoff stretch. Yeah, T.O. came back in the Super Bowl, but he wasn't there through the playoff stretch. So it's just, I know he didn't win the big one, and I wouldn't blame you if you disagree with what I said. Definitely feel free to disagree. Definitely feel free to discuss how you feel, however you feel. But I think he's a Hall of Famer, man. I deep down, just to be honest with myself, I think he is a Hall of Famer. That's just how I feel. Guys, let me know how you feel on the topic. But now that I've gotten that out the way, because I kind of want to talk about that for a couple of days now. Well, I got that out the way. And yeah, guys, feel free to ask me any questions that you want in the inbox. If you guys ask me enough questions, I'm going to tell you to get this guy's last video. If you ask me enough questions, I will do a Q&A again. I did a Q&A before, but inbox me some questions if you guys want to know anything. Just try not to make it too personal. I really don't care what you ask me. Just try to make it too personal. You know what I mean? But yeah, hit me with them Q's and A's. But let me kind of go over this game real quick, because they scored a touchdown right here. Actually, my first touchdown of the game right there with Greg Jennings. Great pass on my part. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This is one of the worst games I probably played. Definitely one of the worst games. I'm not gonna tell you what happened at the end, but definitely one of the worst games I've played. Oh man, shout out to the Green Bay Packer subscriber fans out there that asked for this gameplay. I didn't have the best game. I didn't have the best running game. I actually had a couple nice running plays. I had a couple running plays in this game that was solid. I just didn't have the best game because the rain, believe it or not, made it a little bit. Made the ability for me to see a little harder than probably what it should have been. Probably a combination of that due to the fact that I probably was playing this game in the dark, which is very rare that I do. I kind of just came home and wanted to get a game in, just kind of feeding with some Madden, because I'm the one guy that actually plays Madden all year round. I do not know why. I can just play this game all the time. That's why I decided, one of the reasons why I decided to get this Madden channel, because I can just play Madden all year round and basically never get tired of it as the game ends right here. But yeah, a sloppy game, but I think it was a fun game to watch. A lot of interceptions. I think it was about 6 or 7 interceptions in this game. I coming up somehow, figure out a way to get the win. Another win against the Niners. I know you guys love to see that. But shout out to my opponent, man. Much love, much respect to my opponent. Shout out to the subscribers. You guys are the greatest subscribers on the planet. Without y'all, there is no me. I am a commentator that clearly understands that. Know that. This is your boy, Launchpad 1412, and I'm out. Don't forget to comment about McNabb on the Hall of Fame.